Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I have another in-depth park review, as today we're going to be talking about Six Flags Great Adventure located in Jackson, New Jersey. As I mentioned in my last video, this is my home theme park, and therefore I have visited more than any other theme park. Of all the theme parks I've been to, this is probably the one I'm most split on, as there are so many pros and cons that are involved in this analysis. Overall, as much as I may hate, and I mean hate, some of the things about Great Adventure, it is still one of my favorite parks, and one in which I would definitely recommend a visit. That being said, let's jump right into the action. The first thing I want to talk about with Great Adventure is the pricing. Right off the bat, I'm gonna be a little negative here, but this absolutely needs attention to be drawn. The parking is set at $30 for regular parking and $50 for preferred parking. This is astronomically high for parking, as it is the standard price for many admission fees. Additionally, the preferred parking section is closed off at what seems to be about a quarter mile away from the park. So you'll need to pay the entire $50 just to park anywhere near the entrance. The admission price itself is also very expensive. The price that is currently listed on the website for a one-day ticket is $84. This is incredibly expensive for a park that is more geared towards teenagers that don't generally have a lot of money. In addition to this, their food, drink, and merchandise prices are also through the roof, making Great Adventure an absurdly expensive experience, even just for a single-day visit. The next topic of Great Adventure is both a pro and a con, which is the theming. The theme itself is pretty cool. It's a combination of Looney Tunes and DC superheroes. This is a great choice, as the Looney Tunes theme has a strong appeal to the younger kids, and the superhero theme appeals to the older children and adolescents. The execution of the theming, however, is more of a mixed bag. Despite the popular knock that Great Adventure has terrible theming, there are certain areas that are actually themed quite well. The shining example is the Golden Kingdom, home of King Dakar. There's no question that GA went all out in making this an immersive experience when it opened in '05. The entire area is lined with bamboo trees and beautifully paved pathways, and to top it off, there are even live tigers and tiger shows. It's like being at a miniature zoo. Another area that is pretty well themed is El Toro's home, Plaza del Carnival. This part of the park isn't quite as detailed in its authenticity as Golden Kingdom, but it's still fairly well themed. Other areas of the park that have nice theming include the Looney Tunes areas, as they are filled with character favorites for the younger kids to enjoy. These areas are wildly contrasted with other areas of the park that display almost no effort in theming whatsoever. These areas include Movie Town, Frontier Town, and the Boardwalk. These areas are so painfully bland, it's almost insulting. The pathways are that typically dull GA concrete, and there's no effort to use any other variables to boost the theming. To put it simply, these areas feel like your typical Six Flags theme park. Another thing that is incredibly annoying is the shameful level of product placement. Now, I get it. At the end of the day, the operation of the park is a business, and nothing is prioritized over monetary profit. But when you go as far as naming the two sides of your Twister ride, Left Twix and Right Twix, aren't you just being a little ridiculous? Next, I want to talk about the flat rides. Great Adventure has a large selection of flat rides that vary in both type and thrill level. In total, there are 45 non-coasters at the park, including a carousel, Ferris wheel, sky swing, and many others. This diverse collection of flat rides is sure to include something for all ages to stay entertained. Finally, let's get into the coasters. Of all the things at Great Adventure that give me mixed feelings, the coasters are the most nuanced. While there's no question that this is a relatively loaded lineup, there is some issue with variety. Great Adventure is home to the largest collection of B&M coasters in the country with 5. This is a lot of coasters from one manufacturer, and all 5 of them are in the upper tier of the lineup. So if you don't like B&M coasters, then Great Adventure won't have much to offer you. On the other hand, all 5 of these coasters have something to offer in terms of thrill level and do provide a generally enjoyable experience for the park visitors. The most notable of these rides is Nitro, the 230-foot B&M hypercoaster. This coaster is smooth, graceful, and seemingly the crowd favorite at the park. While this is not personally my favorite ride, I do have to admit I enjoy a good ride on Nitro when I make my annual GA visit. There are also 2 Intamin coasters that complement this lineup particularly well. The first is Kingda Ka, the hydraulic launch coaster that features the world's tallest height and second fastest speed. This intense ride may be short, but it's a powerful rush for the adrenaline junkies. The second Intamin at GA is El Toro, a ride that is considered by many as one of the greatest wooden coasters ever built. While I disagree with the enthusiasts on the specific ranking, I do have to give credit where it's been rightfully earned and say that El Toro is a structural masterpiece with great pacing and a phenomenal layout. My major complaint with the ride is that I personally feel that the second half is a bit rough and it takes me out of the experience. I'm not saying that I don't like El Toro, I just find it to be mildly overrated. My overall opinion of this coaster lineup is that of confliction. While I like a lot of the coasters at the park, because of my reservations with El Toro, there isn't really any ride that I would consider elite. Due to this essential omission, I can't truly rank Great Adventure's lineup amongst the best. I can, however, admit that this is a lineup that is loaded with a collection of really good coasters, and it's definitely a lineup I would recommend taking a trip to Jackson, New Jersey to experience. Finally, I want to talk about charm. As I mentioned in my Hershey Park review, charm is something that I consider to be a more abstract feature that describes the immersive feeling of the park. Unfortunately, this is Great Adventure's weakest link. While this is one of the qualities that makes Hershey Park so great, this same quality is one that Great Adventure is sorely lacking. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I live in the area, which results in my exposure to constant TV advertisements, but this park just feels so commercialized. There's also the tons of product placement and the fact that there are 2 major themes, though that one of their 2 major themes, DC superheroes, directly corresponds with one of the largest growing markets in the country. Additionally, there are just too many areas of the park that are underdeveloped and scenically underwhelming. There's nothing like seeing an uncovered junkyard area to just completely take you out of the experience. I know to some people it sounds like I'm being harsh, but I have to be honest, this is my least favorite part about Great Adventure. All right, time for my overall score. I'm gonna give Great Adventure 1 thumb up and 3.5 out of 5 stars. Guys, this park has a lot to offer and is easily the best amusement experience for 100 miles in any direction. There are some flaws, some major ones in fact, but overall, this park is well above average, and it is definitely a destination I recommend for future travel. All right, that's it for this review. If you enjoyed watching, please like and comment below, and I'll see you guys soon.